All right, here we go. Another edition of Talkin Dodgers. Okay, let's just jump into it. We're gonna, well, you know what? Let's talk about our starting lineup. We're gonna talk about Freddie Freeman really quick. We're gonna talk about the Padres sweep of the Giants, or I'm sorry, the Dodgers or Padres sweep of the Dodgers. Let's talk Kershaw injury updates. We're gonna grade the Dodgers trades, and then we're also gonna talk about the upcoming series against Oakland. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Command Creative Studios. Looking to jump into the podcast world and start making your own content? Command Creative Studios is your one-stop shop for professional podcasts. With a team of audio engineers, music composers, and graphic designers, Command Creative Studios can get your podcast sounding professional as well as looking professional. For more information, please visit commandcreativestudios.com. Max, Mike, how are you guys doing?
Doing all right, my man. The weeks are going by real quick. We're in August already. Dog days of summer.
Yep. Mike, it looks like you're not in the studio. Where are you?
I'm in Boulder, Nevada.
Boulder, Nevada. That's a good stuff.
Boulder, Nevada.
Why are you there?
Well, it would be better if our Dodgers. Well, I had to drown my sorrows after we went 0-2 against the Padres. We talked about how. I'll jump right into it. We talked about how critical this series was.
Yes, we did. Let's jump into that. We'll talk about Freddie Freeman afterwards. Let's jump into the series. It was a very disappointing series when I talk about two games. Let's talk about the first game. Dodgers lose 5-6. Bright spot, Glasnow went 7 innings pitched. He only gave up 3 earned runs, 1 homer, which is one of the 2 homers to Machado. He gave up 1 of them. Will Smith went 2 for 4. Finally got some base hits. Kevin Biggio went 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. And all the RBIs, at least all the runs that came in from the Dodgers came in the first inning, and every inning after that, they were non-existent. They let the Padres get back into this game. They chipped away, and then game-winning homer in the 10th off of... Actually, no, was it a game-winning homer off the 10th? All right, I can't remember. It was such a blur. All I know is that Trinan gave up a hit and basically blew the game. He has not looked good since the All-Star break. But let's see. Mike, your thoughts. What did you see in that game?
I just said we lost it. We let it go.
I know it's a lot of disappointment in that game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got fans over here. Hold on. No, I got Talkin Dodgers fans saying bye to us as a group.
Okay. You got our fan there?
Yeah. Good luck to us.
you got our one guy there? That's cool.
He did. He said bye. See you later. No, we blew it. I mean, bottom line, like we had it beat. I think Glasgow had a great game, and we just let it slip away.
Yeah, he had one rough inning. Yeah, he had one rough inning.
Yeah.
The Dodgers they're known for doing this, where they have like one big inning and then their offense just goes stagnant. The only thing I could say is, and I keep seeing a lot of things being talked about on other podcasts and also other, people just bringing this up or like just kind of like acting like it's over from this series. Keep in mind, we don't have some of our best guns in the fight right now. We don't have Betts. We don't have Freeman's not there. We don't have Muncy. It's not the Dodgers that are going to be in the playoffs. This is the Dodgers that we're just using right now just to get into the playoffs at the moment. So all I can say is everyone just kind of just relax. It's not the end of the world. It feels like it when you're watching this game because you want to stomp the Padres and kind of put them in their place and not give them any momentum. And I feel like this was the perfect series to give the Padres momentum, which means it's going to put the Dodgers more on their back to now they got to like really push back. And having a series come up against Oakland is going to help them hopefully push back and gain that lead, gain more games on the Padres and everybody in the division. But they got to start doing it. And I'm done talking about game one.
Robbie, I'm with you on that.
Let's talk about game two. Game two is the one I want to talk about the most, anyways. Unless you want to add to game one.
I think you're spot on. Well, generally speaking, yeah, I know that our top tier players aren't playing. But we talked about it last pod, right? Like, we don't need to give the Padres any ammunition to go on and run and take this division from us.
Yeah. and they're definitely riding high right now.
Well, not only the Padres.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both the Diamondbacks and the Padres are only 5 games back in the loss column. So
yeah,
you might be in for a divisional race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this month.
We don't need to get. We talked about it last week. We don't need to give anybody any reason to have more hope than they need. Well, more hope than the win the division, I guess. Right? Like,
right.
we don't need to give them like a shot, like they think they could win this thing.
Yeah,
it's our division to lose.
Don't worry. I think part of my job on this podcast is to let people rest easy that it's not over. Yeah. And trust me, there's a lot of help on the way coming to the Dodgers. The Dodgers team by the end of August is going to look drastically different. And we're going to go over that.
Second trading deadline.
It's basically a second trading deadline. We're going to go over it. All right, let's talk about game 2 really quick, because this one is the one that I was most anticipating. And I feel like this has got a lot of people just, throwing their hands up and not being realistic about the situation. Kershaw only goes 3 innings. Oh my God, I can't even talk.
3 2/3.
3 2/3.
Yeah, right.
He walks 1, gives up 7 runs, but only 3 of them are earned. Okay, so let's just talk about his performance right now. He had no swing and miss. I think just trying to remember the game, I think maybe there was 2-3 swings of the bat, and that was basically it. A swing and miss. Everything else was soft contact. Some hard, but mostly soft contact. If the Dodgers play defense, it's a different game. I'm not going to make excuses for Kershaw as far as he was definitely not pitching his best, but we also have to remember this is his second game back playing in the professionals, playing in Major League Baseball. He just had his first injury, just getting over his first shoulder injury. Mike, why are you smiling so much? Is that because of the Coors Light you got in your hand right now? I'm trying to make a point here. I just think we all just need to relax.
He did throw a lot of pitches. So
he threw a lot of pitches. Yeah. He did throw a lot of pitches. But Max, correct me if I'm wrong, the Padres are what? They're top in the league as far as contact hitting, correct?
Yeah, batting average.
So to expect Kershaw to strike the side out or to have a perfect gem against the Padres, as much as it would have been amazing, is incredibly unrealistic. Let's just get over that right now. So people,
and they're red hot.
And they're red hot right now. So listening to other people's podcasts, which I'm not going to burn people on their podcasts, but they're all acting like Kershaw is done. They're acting like Kershaw should retire. I think we all need to take a step back and recognize the fact that he's just coming back from shoulder surgery. He's not going to be in ace form for a little bit. It could be not until September where we start seeing his best stuff, but it's going to be there. If he comes out and says his arm's hurting right now, that's what the problem is. But as long as he feels strong, he threw a couple pitches in the 92. I saw it, 91, 92. Mostly he averaged around 90 miles an hour. That's kind of where he's been sitting before. Once he gets his command back, he's going to be a good pitcher again. So I think we just all need to relax on Kershaw. But let's talk about what happened around Kershaw. You go. What?
To answer your question, I have a big smile on my face because we have 5, 6, 7, 8 people following our pod right now in front of me.
You found 8 friends. Quick, get their phone numbers. Put them in a group text.
Oh, I got them liking.
All right, get them to go to our Patreon page. We'll talk about that in a second. Patreon page.
We will.
All right, but let's talk about what happened around Kershaw. So as much as praise we've been giving, I actually, you know what? I was going to talk about Lux. Let's talk about Will Smith for a second. I noticed that Will Smith and Kershaw did not seem like they were on the same page the entire game. And a lot of times Kershaw had to step off, fake a throw to second or first just so he could reset the clock. And Will Smith, normally I don't give him a lot of flack for not being a good framer because I thought he's been pretty good. There's a couple pitches that I felt like he kind of phoned in the catching. He wasn't even trying to frame some of these pitches. And I'm not I feel like there was not a lot of go all around from the Dodgers. Not just Will Smith, but even Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux has a really poor throw in the first inning to kind of set the tone for more disastrous plays happening. He had 2 errors in this game. Even Kershaw himself had a error with a bunt that he should have made the play easily at home. It was an all-around bad game. It cannot just be thrown on Kershaw because if people make defensive plays behind Kershaw, he only gives up 3 runs. Granted, it's 3 runs in almost 4 innings, but it's still a winnable game that should not have gone out of hand as much as it did. And I just think that they phoned that game in before they weren't ready to play that game. Bottom line, the Dodgers have no fire right now. They didn't have it. They're waiting to get out of there, regroup, and hopefully start building some momentum in Oakland. I think that's what the bottom line is.
Well, when it comes to the framing, you brought that up. Smith is not one of the best in the league. He's actually one of the worst.
He needs to work on it.
He's one of the worst in the league at framing. He's there for the bat.
Yeah, I mean his bat hasn't been there.
Yeah.
You want to talk about also missing another gun? Will Smith has not looked good in about a month, and we talked about this in the beginning of the season, where Will Smith is in my opinion, like the last 2 or 3 years, starts off hot and dies halfway through the season and never gets his momentum back. And we're seeing that big time right now. He went 2 for 4 in the first game, but I don't think he got a hit the second game. It's not looking good for him offensively right now. But, he's a professional. He'll figure it out, I'm sure.
According to StatCast, he's the 54th catcher in frame.
That's not good.
In framing.
I can see why then he's probably not Kershaw's catcher most of the time. And I guarantee you the next game, he's not catching Kershaw. It's definitely going to be Barnes.
Yeah. Barnes, by the way, he's 24th.
Noodle arm Barnes?
Yeah.
Run on me,
but
please,
we're talking
Barnes.
about framing. We're
talking about framing right now. If you could just mix those two together,
yeah,
they're a decent catcher. All right, I'm done talking about the series. The whole thing was a bummer, but let's talk about the positive stuff right after a word from our sponsor, Max.
Our sponsor, Max?
Yeah, dude.
Who's Max sponsoring?
We're doing Player Spotlight now.
Oh, so let me know. Player Spotlight. Player Spotlight is brought to you by Roger Brain Media, the up-and-coming podcast company delivering top-quality content across all podcast platforms. Say that 3 times fast. From sports entertainment to in-depth movies and TV reviews, Roger Brain Media is your go-to for fun and exciting content. Don't miss out. Visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/RogerBrainMedia to support this dynamic new company and be part of something special. Subscribe now and get ready to have your brain truly entertained.
That was amazing.
How about that?
What a beautiful voice you have, Max.
Yeah, right.
All right. I feel like we touched enough on Kershaw. I had him on one of our lists, but I kind of already went off on everything he's kind of going through right now. Unless anybody wants to add to Kershaw, we can move on to roster moves, injury updates.
No, you said it best. I think it's just circumstance. He's second start back versus the team in the league with the highest batting average and the most hits. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. So, I mean, we talked about it offline, right? Like, the hits that he did give up were down and away. They weren't like fastballs down the pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were Texas League hits that scored some runs. I don't think it's all on Kershaw a little bit. I think the Padres put the bat on the ball in the right spots.
Yeah, they hit the ball well. Bottom line. I mean, he didn't bring his best stuff and they took advantage of it. He just got to regroup before the next game.
Agreed.
And people need to just calm the F down.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk about some injury updates really quick. So let's talk about what a drastic difference our team is going to look hopefully by the end of August. So we got Mookie Betts, who's supposed to be coming back. I mean, I believe last thing I heard was he's making strides, and they're thinking that he's not even going to do a rehab start. He's going to just jump right into games. So they're expecting him to come back in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
A lot of teams are doing that this year. They're not giving guys, a couple of at-bats in the minor leagues.
If he's healthy and your options at shortstop are what they are right now, just get him back.
I mean, they picked up a couple of guys who could play short for a day or two. Walker Buehler saying he could be coming back in the next couple of weeks. He just did some rehab starts in AAA Oklahoma, so he's making progress. Michael Grove, they're saying he could be back mid-August as well. Michael Grove back into the bullpen. That'd be nice. Bullpen needs a lot of help. I think you're going to start seeing some phantom ILs from some of those people on the IL or in the bullpen, which we could talk about that in a little bit as well. Chris Taylor.
That's a problem.
Chris Taylor is saying he'll be back in August. I don't know if there's going to be a place for Chris Taylor, to be honest with you. With the pickups that they just got, plus the people that are on the roster right now, which we'll go over that in a second, I don't know if there's a spot for Chris Taylor. But we could talk about that. Miguel Rojas, mid-August as well. Max Muncy, late August. Apparently they made some strides figuring out something with his back also. He went to a chiropractor and figured something out. So there are big updates from there. So Max Muncy could be back by the end of August. You're talking about getting 4 or 5 key players back before the end of August. And we haven't even talked about the pickups that they just did during the trades. So positive things are ahead. All right. Max, let's talk about the big pickups. What do you got for me?
So what do you guys think? A lot of people said them and probably Baltimore and San Diego did the most in terms of going all in, right? To make sure they fortified and worked around the edges.
Right.
There weren't a lot of big time names like all-stars traded. I think there was only 2 all-stars out of 70 that were traded. But they did land one of the bigger name pitchers that were available, Jack Flaherty from the Tigers, has a couple of back issues, but they only gave up their number 8 prospect and their number 22 prospect, who happened to was drafted by the Yankees. You know, I got to give my Yankee plug in.
Yeah, good for you.
So what do you guys think of that trade? It was a catcher by, how do you say that? Theron Lorenzo and Trey Sweeney, who's an infielder, mainly a shortstop right now, but probably will end up maybe at third base.
Yeah, Sweeney can't hit really well. Yeah. And we have enough players that can play defense and can't hit, so he won't be missed.
Yeah.
Flaherty, I think, is a good pickup, especially since they didn't give up much for him, and I feel like they can plug him into this rotation like immediately. You put him in the rotation with Glasnow and Kershaw. Yes, he's still in the rotation. Gavin Stone and a couple of the rookies, whoever you're holding on to right now. I know that they just sent down the Wachowski brother. What's his name? God dang it. What is his name?
Who just say?
The guy who gave me issues. I couldn't remember how to say his last name. Warbowski.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, they sent him down, which he'll probably be back up in the bullpen soon. But they still got River Ryan. They still got Gavin Stone. Yeah, I think they have a solid rotation right now. I think the next issue is going to be once Walker Buehler comes back, who's going to go down when Walker Buehler, which will probably be River Ryan.
Yeah, that stuff usually takes care of itself. I don't think it's good
enough. I don't think we made a big enough splash in free agency. I think they made enough. I think because what they have right now, what's coming back from August, plus you got what they got. I feel like what they just picked up right now is enough to push out the bad fill-ins. You know what I mean? So we can get rid of Biggio can go. More, in my opinion, Richie or Robbie, sorry,
whatever you want to call me. Come on, Michelle.
Picked up a bunch of average, subpar fill-ins. We didn't pick any.
Flaherty's not a subpar. He's having a really strong year. He's 7-5 with a 2.95 ERA, 133 strikeouts in 106 and 2/3 innings. That's pretty good.
He's a solid 2 or 3 pitcher. He's not an ace, but he can go in there and he can throw.
Yeah, and that's what you need right now because of the injury. So he's solid.
I think we need a starter. I think we need. Yeah, but I think we need a good relief.
We got a good relief though too. We got a relief / closer. We got no, not Bestia. The other guy they picked up from the White Sox. What is his name? He throws fire. He throws gas. He's the only bright spot of the rotation or the bullpen that came in yesterday. That's not true. The bullpen actually didn't do bad for the game yesterday. What's his name? Kopech? Yeah. He came in. He was throwing 100 miles an hour. He throws heat. I could see him taking over the closing rotation, or if not, kind of taking over some of the more difficult spots in the opposing lineup. Because I think they're going to start giving Trinan some rest. Vesia's going to get some rest. Evan Phillips is going to get some rest. These guys need to take some time off because they're losing steam in their arms to kind of build up for the big push in September. So I think he's going to take over the bulk of some things while those guys rest up. And then you still got Brusdar Graterol coming back pretty soon. Hopefully. I mean, the last thing I saw, I think he's going to be back pretty soon.
Yeah, and probably one of your young pitchers will end up in the bullpen come playoff time.
I think River Ryan's probably going to end up in the bullpen and have him throw gas in there as well. You're gonna see a lot of heaters in our bullpen, just throwing high 90s with a lot of breaking balls. And I think they're gonna separate probably 5 guys whoever the best of the best, those 5 guys.
Yeah.
And we can name those 5 right now, but I think that like they just got to perform well and kind of earn their spots in September. I thought Evan Phillips was a lock, but the way he's been pitched in the last 2 or 3 games, he needs a break. And you look at Vesey's velo, that needs to go down as well.
Robbie,
What?
Robbie, the vibe I'm getting out of you is you're not worried about the team, right?
I'm not.
The division.
I'm not worried about the scene right now because there's so many other players coming back. If our guys were playing right now, if our top guys were in the lineup every single day and we were floundering the way we're floundering right now, I would be worried. But we're just basically relying on Shohei Ohtani to perform every single day right now, and hopefully all these second-tier guys show up and do something. This is not the Dodgers we signed up for right now.
Agreed. And I think the vast majority of the public right now thinks the sky is falling, and I think that's where you're spot on. I mean, we're a shell of the team that we put together at the end of the season. Once we get everybody back, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, we're a shell. I still expect us to win the majority of the games and at least compete. And when what we did in San Diego was not compete, then we can't play like that even with our scrubs playing. We got to have better scrubs. And I think what we did in the trade deadline is we got.
Is there such a thing as better scrubs?
Yes, we got better scrubs. We got Rosario to come in. We've got.
I was going to go to the second big trade they had was the massive 3-team trade. Dodgers get Tommy Edman, Michael Kopech that we just spoke about, and Oliver Gonzalez. The main guys heading out was Miguel Vargas, Jorel Perez, and Alexander Obaltis.
Yeah. Rosario, he's going to make an impact.
Well, that was Edman. Rosario was in another deal.
Right. But Rosario's going to make an impact almost immediately. He's having a pretty good season. He's batting, I think, 307, 306 or something. He's not hitting a ton for power right now, but he makes contact, and he can actually play some defense in multiple positions. Yeah. You just take him alone, and you compare him to Kike Hernandez, compare him to Ahmed, who's the guy from the Giants we got who's been playing shortstop, compare him to Biggio, compare him to these guys who are supposed to be fill-ins.
It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade for all those guys, and he could be a starter right now for at least what the team we have is right now. I think he can. Then you talk about what's his name from the Cardinals, who plays Gold Glove second base, who can also play third, can play shortstop. You plug him in there right now, and you take Kike's bat out or someone. And I love Kike, but Kike does not hit as well as these guys hit. You basically you got 2 guys who can at least hit above 250, who make contact. We're gonna put the ball in play. That alone right there, you mix that with the way that Gavin Lux has been hitting, and the steady performance you've been getting from Teoscar Hernandez and from Shohei Ohtani. That's a pretty big plus right there. And then you plug into the other guys.
Don't forget, you also got Kevin Kiermaier, who will be a late inning.
I don't get that.
He's a Gold Glove center fielder.
We have Outman
he's not as good as Kiermaier has been the best outfielder since 2016. His metrics are through the roof in the outfield.
Robbie,
it's not even close. Anybody's close to how good a defender he is. So
I just think
late innings, you need you do your defensive switches there. It's a great guy.
I don't see that much of a difference defensive-wise. I think there's more of an upside with Outman if you keep working with him. We already know that Kiermaier, that's who it is? No. Yeah. We already know that like he's not going to go up. He's going down. Outman can go up. Kiermaier's never going to go up. There's a difference.
Outman is nowhere near the outfielder that Kevin Kiermaier
Defensively?
is.
Do you have the defensive metrics?
It's not even close.
Do you have the defensive metrics?
Yeah, Kevin Kiermaier since 2016 is the number 1 outfielder. His above average metrics plus 93. No one comes close.
What were his metrics?
It's not even a it's a waste of a conversation.
It's not. It's not. Hold on. You can only compare 1 year. Compare Outman's last year because he played center field.
Who won the Gold Glove last year, right? Was Kevin Kiermaier won a Gold Glove just last year, 2023.
In what league? American?
Actually, Robbie.
Yeah.
Did he compete against?
Like Outman,
you're losing this one. Just walk away. Just walk away, man.
Yeah.
What, bar boy?
Agreed.
What'd you say to me, Mike?
I'm telling you, your love for Outman right now is not justified.
It's not a love. It's a lack of. It's a lack.
Love.
It's not
blind
a love.
love.
No, I don't have a blind love for Outman. It's a lack of options. There's a difference.
I think you have lust. You have lust for Outman to be an all-star, and it's not going to happen.
Dude, your Coors Light Rocky Mountains are like not blue anymore. You need to go get a refill. Listen, It's not my love for Outman. It's a lack of options. My options are Paez in center field, who does not play good defense in center field. And then you go and you get Kiermaier, who can't hit. So it's like, those are lack of options right there. It doesn't make any sense to me that why they got him.
Either. That's why he doesn't mind it.
All right. I think those are the big people, right? We just talked about the big five. Is there anybody else we're missing here?
Oh, you got Rosario. That was the big ones. You got Rosario. You touched on all of them. You hit all of them, right?
Yeah. Bottom line. Look, here's the bottom line. The Giants. What?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear what you're gonna say over there. You look like you're about to pass out.
I don't think we. Oh, I'm awake. I'm wide awake. No, the bottom line is we didn't get any big hitters in the trade deadline. I don't think anybody's elite in a game changer.
I don't think
you didn't need to do all that.
Also, the options were like
like Robbie said, a lot of the guys are coming back. You didn't need to do that. You just needed to, do the fringe stuff. Sharpen.
We need to weather the storm
on the margins. Yeah.
Exactly. We need to weather the storm. We need to win the games that we should win, which is when you play the lower tier teams like Oakland, you need to go in there and dominate. And when you play the teams that are dangerous, like San Diego, like Philadelphia, like the Giants, unfortunately, you got to have your best games. You got to show up and compete. What the team was when they played San Diego, that was a team that was done competing after the first inning of the first game. And then were lackadaisical, just kind of like, let's just go through the motions and hopefully something will happen. There was no fire, and hopefully this was a wake-up call for them to play better defense, to be more aggressive when they should be aggressive. Play smart baseball. Shohei Ohtani got thrown out going home on a ball that he should have made the decision a long time ago to go home, which I don't know if you guys saw it. Lux hits a ball in the right field, the right fielder from the Padres misses the cutoff, and Ohtani could have went home a long time ago. I don't know what he was doing at third base, but then he should have just stayed at third. And he cost them a rally in that inning. It was little things like that in the game where it's like they're just not playing smart baseball right now, and the smarter teams have the better. They have the better chance of winning baseball games. If you're making mistakes on the base path, if you're not making good defensive plays, you're making throwing errors, you're not making good pitches, like it's harder to win a professional baseball game. And what the Dodgers did is shot themselves in the foot that second game, for sure. But I don't want to keep talking about that game or any of those games because it sucked. All right. I think we've done enough talking about, talking people off of a ledge. The Dodgers, in my opinion, are going to be a drastically different baseball team at the end of August. My hope and prediction is going to be the Dodgers are still going to be up a couple of games by the end of August. Going in September, they're going to put their foot on the gas and they're going to win at least 20 games in September. I called it. 20 games in September. They're going to just blow through the entire thing. They're going to have their pitching staff ready to go. They're going to have their offense showing up. You're going to have all-stars at every single position. The stars are going to align. The moon is going to gravitate baseballs from Dodger Stadium hit from players wearing blue. This is the dumbest thing I've ever said. This is the worst podcast we've ever done. I can't wait to get my beer after this. I'm rambling the entire time.
You're flustered. Hey.
I'm not flustered. Hey, I'm on 3 cups of coffee. There's a difference. Okay. All right.
Listen. Hey, we had a tough series against the Padres. To me, it was critical for us to win both games. We didn't do it. Hopefully, when we go to Oakland, make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
If we get swept in Oakland, the next podcast next week, all we're gonna do is just talk about Oakland athletics and like the future of the A's. I'm serious. If we get swept by Oakland, our next podcast on Sunday is going to be us just talking about the future of the Oakland Athletics, about their new stadium. They're playing in Sacramento. Then they're going to go to Vegas.
There's no way we're getting swept by the Athletics. Every one of their starting pitchers for this next 3 games have an ERA over 5.
Yeah, you
There's no
should
way.
sweep. Should be a
We
sweep.
got 5 players that aren't even batting 200 on this team. That's not true at all. Okay, let's talk about the next series. What's on deck? The series on deck. It's brought to you by Toyota. Go drive a car. Stupid. Okay. All right. So the Dodgers got Oakland this weekend. It's a 3-game series, correct? Starts on Friday. Tomorrow. Who's our pitching matchups?
It should be a cakewalk. The A's only do one thing well, and that's hit home runs. They're 4th in home runs. And everything else, they're high 20s, which isn't good.
They're in the high 20s.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at the pitching matchups, though. That's what I want to see. Let's see.
Gavin Stone tomorrow versus Jay Estes, who with his nice 4.92 ERA.
I think it's good for Stone. He needs a bounce back game. I don't think he pitched terribly his last time out, but he gave up a couple key homers, like Mike pointed out. I think he needs to have a game where he can go in, give us good, solid 6 innings, maybe give up 1 or 2 runs.
Saturday, you have Flaherty versus Spence, and Spence has a nice 4.47 ERA.
I think we're going to see Flaherty come in. He's going to strike out 8 at least. Dominant performance, gives up no runs.
And then Sunday, you have Ryan versus Beto, who with his nice 5 ERA.
I think for Mike, I think River Ryan's going to pitch a no-hitter going into the 5th.
I wouldn't say that.
No, it's going into the 5th. I didn't say it's a full no-hitter. Just a no-hitter going into the 5th.
Listen, I think this is a good bounce back series for the Dodgers here. Like,
yeah,
they got punched in the mouth by the Padres. Let's be real, right? Like,
yeah, they need to go punch somebody back.
So,
yeah, they should.
So
they should really flex here, right?
I hope so.
Because
I mean, what better team to flex against than the Oakland Athletics?
Well, if they don't, they got the Phillies next.
It's Phillies, but Philly hasn't played well since the All-Star break, so maybe you can come in and catch them off balance.
I think what they need to come in, they need to sweep Oakland, build up their confidence again, because going against the Phillies, you're going to get Glass now, and you're going to get Kershaw again pitching in your rotation. And I think you're going to see, and I know we're not talking about the Phillies series, but I think you're going to see a Kershaw that's going to come in pretty determined. He's going to give you a solid 5 to 6 innings, 2 runs. I think that's what you're going to see. I'm calling it right now. But I think on that note, we can wrap this episode. Unless you guys want to add anything else. Short and sweet one.
No, I won't kill you with Kiermaier and Outman, even though, you know.
Our 2 fans here tell me to wrap it up.
There you go.
Because they're waiting for you to buy another round at the bar, dude. All right.
Well, I bet on the Dodgers when I lost.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to this episode of Talkin Dodgers. If you made it this far, that means you must like what you're listening to. If you like us that much, please go on and check out our Patreon page over at patreon.com/RotYourBrainMedia. Help support this podcast, keep the lights on, and help us create content. With your support, we can go far. We can talk about more in depth on how Outman is the better center fielder than Paez on the Dodgers. Just give him a shot. Other than that, I believe that's enough.
Man, my goal, I'm going to be in Arizona this weekend, so my goal for Sunday night when we're recording is I want to be as lit as Michael. Can you imagine the both of us?
Lit.
That's a good, it's good to have dreams at this age because that's what it is. It's just a dream. On that note, we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Talkin Dodgers. Peace out.
Peace out, player.